Alright guys, so you've seen the title. In today's video, we're going to compare two of the baddest side-by-sides on the market, specifically 4-seat side-by-sides. The Polaris RZR XP 4 Turbo S and the Can-Am X3 Max XRS Turbo RR. We'll take a look at some of the specs and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the Turbo S is better than the X3.
You never know what love was. You lived your life with mouths of bitterness, and I'm just gonna say it, I'll say it. I used to think that you were right in this, but maybe you were wrong. I'm just gonna say it, I'll say it.
Alright, before the Can-Am guys jump all over me and start telling me I'm crazy and listing all the reasons why the X3 is better, let me just clarify something. We'll be doing a follow-up video in the near future that'll give you 5 reasons why the X3 is better than the Turbo S. So look out for that later. The truth of the matter is just about every machine has something that it does better than the competitor. And one more thing. Rather than refer to the machines as the Polaris RZR XP 4 Turbo S and the Can-Am X3 Max XRS Turbo RR, I'm just going to call them the X3 and the Turbo S. Also, whether you agree or disagree with anything that I'm about to say, be sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure there'll be plenty of debate going on down there. With that said, let's jump into it. Okay, I'm going to start with number 5, and that's seating position and sight lines. Seating position is something that often gets overlooked when people are looking at side-by-sides. People tend to be drawn to stats like horsepower and ground clearance, suspension travel, things like that, rather than how they feel in the driver's seat. The correct seating position for you is going to depend on the type of riding that you'll be doing. If you're someone who does slower, more technical riding, you may prefer a higher seating position to give you better sight lines. If you prefer faster, wide open riding, you'll likely want to sit lower in the car. In my opinion, the combination of the sight lines and seating position in the RZR is just plain better. Now, why is it better? Well, to me, it gives you better sight lines when you're getting into more technical rock crawling or even technical trails. And the position in the RZR gives me a feeling of more control. That's not to say that the driving position in the X3 is bad. It's just to say that to me, the RZR is better. All right, reason number 4. While the gap here gets more and more narrow by the day, it's an undeniable fact that there is a bigger aftermarket for Polaris than there is for Can-Am. From suspension and accessories to tunes and engine parts, you're going to have an easier time finding parts for a RZR than for any other machine. If you think about it, Polaris was the first to market with a true sport machine, completely dominating the competition for nearly a decade. It makes sense that there'd be more parts and accessories available for the aftermarket. However, with the volume of machines that Can-Am has produced over the last few years, and the support that they're getting from big names like Travis Pastrana and others, it won't be long before they're in the same spot as Polaris, with brands jumping over themselves to produce parts and accessories for them. You've seen it over the last few years, and it will just continue to get stronger. Okay, so reason number 3, Ride Command. So Ride Command is a 7-inch touchscreen display in the Polaris Turbo S that brings technology into the off-road experience. From navigation and Bluetooth audio to the ability to track your ride and monitor the location of your buddies who may be on the trail with you. As of now, in March 2020, no other brand, including Can-Am, offers a comparable system. Some offer add-on GPS, but none of them offer a system that's comparable to Ride Command. If you're a fan of tech like I am, or you enjoy the convenience of pre-installed GPS and other features, then you'll appreciate what Polaris has done with the Ride Command system. Now on to reason number 2, and that is shorter length. The 4-seat Turbo S has an overall length of 12 feet 5 inches and a wheelbase of 9 feet 9 inches. The X3 has an overall length of 13 feet and 9 inches and a wheelbase of 11 feet 3 inches. The overall length of these rigs will impact things like the agility and the size of trailer you have to buy, while the wheelbase will affect things like turning radius, ride, clearance, and other things. To give you some perspective on the length of the wheelbase of these two rigs, the X3 has a wheelbase that is 5 inches longer than a 2020 Chevy Suburban, and the RZR Turbo S has a wheelbase that is 1 inch longer than a Chevy Tahoe. When you compare it to these two huge vehicles that you see on the road every day, it really does highlight just how long these suckers are. While the overall length and wheelbase of a machine probably won't be an issue for many out there, especially those who ride in wide open desert trails or in the sand dunes, it will be an issue for those who like to ride on the more technical, tight trails, or in places where you need heavy ground clearance or breakover angle. In my opinion though, the length of the Turbo S makes a lot more sense for the type of riding that I do. Alright, before I get to the number one reason why the Turbo S is better, do us a favor and click the like button below. It helps YouTube know that people are watching our videos and will help other people see it as well. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button as well. We just last week hit 5,000 subscribers, so thank you to all those out there that have made that happen. We, myself, Garrett, and Dave, we really do appreciate it. You can also support us by checking out our website at derangedoffroad.com, or checking in the description below. You'll find links to Patreon there and other ways to support us. All right, the number one reason why the Polaris Turbo S is better than the Can-Am X3, dynamics suspension. Polaris introduced computer-controlled suspension to the UTV market in 2017, and until Honda introduced the live-valve Honda Talon X4 in 2019, there was no other system like it on the market. The combination of suspension travel and computer-controlled shocks took UTV suspension to a whole new level. The system adjusts on the fly hundreds of times per second based on driver input and driver conditions. This system allows you to go faster through the whoops and choppy stuff, faster in the corners, and land much softer when you get it in the air. While suspension travel on the X3 is an inch or two greater, the dynamic system ability to control the suspension on the fly gives it a much smoother and more plush ride. Side note, as a Honda Talon owner with live valve suspension, I'll say this. If Honda really wants to compete with Polaris in the computer-controlled suspension game, they need to add additional travel. I really think it's the combination of the travel and the computer-controlled suspension in the Polaris that gives it that plush ride. Don't get me wrong, I love my Talon and the live valve suspension is definitely great, but it's just not on the same level as a Turbo S. Now it's time for debate. Head to the comments section down below and let us know what you think. Do you agree or disagree? Did I leave something out? If I did, let me know. With that said, ride safe, pack out what you pack in, and we'll see you on the next one.
All my walls are covered in words, and while you sleep, I mark my goals. Stand tall, think clear. Don't let them see a hint of fear. Lines and dots, zoom in, zoom out. Open your window, let them hear you shout. Right on the poles, right on the street. Always remember the future is near. Cut some cords, scratch some scars. Put on your cape and jump from the car. Open your mouth, take a deep breath. Run fast and don't stop at the end. You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know. You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know. When I was a kid, my dad used to say, don't let anything stand in your way. Stand tall, think clear. I promise I'll always be here. Cut some cords, scratch some scars. Put on your cape and jump from the car. Open your mouth, take a deep breath. Run fast and don't stop at the edge. You can be